See that, guys? Goes right back in there. Then you know when you pick it up, you see those 4 screws. Oh, they go there. Real simple. Same way with every other bolt and nut on here. You guys take it out, put it back into the hole where it originated from, and then it makes it a lot easier when time rolls around. You got to put stuff back together. You know right where it came from, and you know right where it needs to go back. I probably repeated that 3 times, but it's an important fact. You know, it's important to make sure you guys don't screw this up. You know, I mean, especially for us poor guys. Us poor guys who can't afford to screw it up or break it. You know, we're not going to get a new one. We're not going to be able to run out and buy new parts because we don't have money all the time. That pin, you just go ahead and clean that off with a towel. Don't stick it in the water, it's metal. And I know I stuck other ones in there that were metal, but those I can dry off. This is really thin and really small, and it will rot really fast and just disappear on you. I've seen it before. I've seen them just break off in there from just rust. And of course your pin goes into the hole. Pull out those other metal pieces we had in there, such as your C-joint, I guess. I don't know what to call that. Hopefully somebody out there comment and let me know. CVC joint, maybe. Kind of like on a car, CVC joint. Look how filthy that was. You know, and this cars don't like to work dirty. You know, they work a lot better clean. I promise you. I know you guys are thinking, oh, he's just blowing smoke up our butts. But no, come on. We play with RCs because it's fun. You know, it's like an erector set slash dream car slash, you know, hobby. Something you can tell your friends about and brag about. Oh yeah, my car does 100 now, you know, just got the new motor in, you know. The ones that are just sitting there watching the video thinking, oh my god, why am I watching this, dude? It wasn't meant for you to watch this video, dude. It was just meant for you to pass by it. Maybe you know somebody else who likes the RC. Pass it on to them. They'd like to watch it, I'm sure. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go get some Q-tips to clean these things. So the metal ones, you want to make sure you clean the metal super good. And make sure it's completely dry, because you don't want any wet spots on there. You don't want it to stay wet anywhere, because if it stays wet anywhere, it's going to cause damage somewhere. So I went ahead and cleaned this one all up. She's ready to go. And like I said before, with the bolts being in the same spots, kind of do things in the same area. Don't jump around, because that's when you're going to get lost and you're going to lose parts. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Look at that. That is just absolutely disgusting. And like I said, it's only been a week, 2 weeks since my last cleaning. Make sure you get down in there. I'm sorry you guys aren't seeing that. I wanted to make sure you guys seen all this stuff. I brought this camera over here to where you could see. And of course I do it out of the camera view. So we'll go ahead, clean all that stuff up, get in them cracks and crevices. Even though this one's plastic, you know, it's still good to get a lot of that gunk off of there. You're gonna have a lot of oil buildup if you use a lot of oil on your car. I like to use oil because oil keeps water away, ladies and gentlemen. Water away, because oil and water don't mix. It's that simple. Oil and water does not mix, and oil will save your car in the long run, because it'll keep stuff lubricated and not allow it to dry out with water on it and then begin to rust and decay at your bushings, bearings, rubber grommets, any of those kind of things, like your rubber grommets, you want to keep those lubricated as well. If you have any rubber grommets on your car that you know, are out in the weather and they're hot, cold, make sure you dip them in oil and let them sit for a minute, and then take them out and dry them off, because then that'll lubricate the rubber. You know, it'll keep your rubber from cracking, keep your rubber from getting out of control on you and then having to get a new one. Plus, it just overall keeps your car clean, and your car always runs better clean. I can say that. And as you can see, I'm taking my time, making sure I get all the spots clean. Because if you just kind of run through this, it's not really going to do what you want it to do. Like what I'm looking for as I'm doing this, when it's all done, it should run like I bought it. You know, brand new. That sound that I was hearing at some point, I'm sure it was some little piece of dirt or something. And it just goes right back in there like that. Then the pin. Put the pin back in. After you clean it off, of course. Pin's back in. Actually, reverse that. Pull that pin back out. And I want to do... Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you something here. This is my oil. What I do is I take one drip on my finger. One drip. You see that one drip? Now I want you to rub it on there and massage that shaft. I want you to massage it. If it gets dirty from dropping it, make sure you clean it off. And do it again. Make sure it's just one drip, ladies. Now, I want you to, I don't want you to lubricate this thing to the max. Because what it's going to do is it's going to cause a lot of gunk to stick there. And that's not what we want. What we want is to lubricate this to keep it from wearing this bar down. As you can already see, it's worn holes in the sides on this bar to where they're shiny white. Then stick your shaft back in like I was saying before. Make sure you dry things out. You don't want it to be oil everywhere. Like I said before, oil is going to make things stick to it, cause more issues. So just a dab will do you. Where's my mini pin there? Put the pin in. Dry off your little hexagon. As you see your little hexagon there all blown off. We're going to go ahead and slide it down on there, onto that shaft. And there you go. You have one clean. And look at that. Look at that. And it feels so smooth. No dirt, no scratchy feelings. And that's what you want. You don't want any scratchy feelings. You want smooth, like as if it was a bearing, because it is a dry bearing. It has no balls in it like a regular bearing does. And set that down. Your pin. Same thing. I want you to clean this off with a dry rag. Take your finger, dip a little bit on there, and run a little bit of oil on your pin. This way it'll keep water off your pin and will keep rust away. You can dab at that. Like clean your hands off and just kind of dab it. You don't want to knock all the oil off. You just want a super thin layer on there. Take your guy. Let me show you guys that. Push that pin in with your fingernail. Make sure it's flush. Get that little bolt. Stick it back in there. Just like that. And remember, you don't want to tighten down all the way. Just snug. And the same with the other side. And I took this bolt out and was going to show you how to remove this. First you got to remove the shock. Then grab your lovely pair of vice grips or needle nose pliers. Just kind of twist it a little bit, push out at the same time. It'll pop out. Look how filthy that thing is. I mean, I put oil on it last time, but as you can see, the water's gotten through and it's begun to decay on it. So what do? We just, like I said before, you take a dab it off, clean it off with a dry rag. One little dab will do you. A little bit on there. Dab it off. Dab. You want to leave some oil on there. Of course, clean your A-arm. Wash your A-arm off. Dry, I should say. Dry your A-arm off because mine's got oil all over it. So we're going to have to clean it a little bit here. I know you guys can see my horrible paint job is starting to chip away and everything. But it was cheap spray paint, so what do you expect? And I can always repaint it. I didn't use that much paint. And then of course you want to kind of clean this area here with a toothbrush. You can see all that in there is filthy. Just filthy in there. I think I'm going to start with a rag because there's so much oil in there. But oil is good. Oil is your friend. Oil will keep your ride rolling. Keep it from rusting. Keeping it from aging before its time. Okay, toothbrush. And scrubby-dub-dub in there. Just a little bit, because I'm going to get all the way in there. You guys will see. I'm going to cut this video short. I know it feels kind of long right now, but you know, it takes a long time. It's not a short process. Definitely not a short process. Painting it is a short process because you just take it apart and you clean it a little bit and then spray it down with spray paint and ta-da! Paint it. New paint job and everything. That's why it was only 4 hours on that one video. You know. And so, like I said, put your shaft back in here. Put your arm back in there the right way. Make sure it's on there the right way. Now that I've oiled that little thing, I can't pick it up. And I heard all this grinding as I picked it up on sand or dirt. So, I can clean it off. One drip. Boop, 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 boop. Kind of dab.